DLSC Action News 4 will recap the nomination of Hillary Clinton at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, talk about the violence in the LGBTQ community, learn about Homeland Security CVE and what that means, and the app that's sweeping the nation, Pokemon Go. And now, reporting on the 48th Democratic National Convention, here is Daniel. Daniel?
Here's some breaking news today. Hillary Clinton spoke at the Democratic National Convention today in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She talked about how if she were nominated to become president, she would help boost our economy, raise the taxes on the wealthy, and also offer free tuition for students. Hillary made some great points in her speech. However, she did have a lot of people that doubted some of the things that she stated in her speech. But apparently many people do support Hillary because the whole audience was packed and people couldn't get enough of Hillary Clinton and everything that she said. Hillary did not back down from anyone, and she did address a few problems that we are having today, like terrorism and the lack of education due to poverty. Hillary Clinton supports many people, and many people support her. One of Hillary Clinton's biggest supporters is President Barack Obama. And now, back to you, Lauren.
Thank you, Daniel. A candlelight vigil was held this week by members of the LGBTQ community, family, and friends. On June 23rd, an additional victim of a violent attack in the LGBTQ community occurred again. At the young age of 25, a transgender African-American woman named Dee Wiggum, who was a nurse, was stabbed to death in a hotel room in Missouri. The suspect has been arrested and is 20-year-old Dwanya Hickerson, a U.S. Navy recruit. To the Sun-Herald, Dee Wiggum's cousin Raquel Cooley spoke about her and how greatly she will be missed. She was a hard-working, kind-hearted person who was just starting her life and who did not deserve this. It is a heartbreaking time not only for people who personally knew Wiggum, but also for members who are fighting for rights. Wiggum will be the 16th trans person killed this year alone in the United States. After many hate crimes and the directed attack in the Orlando nightclub, the community has gone through enough. Wiggum's death is shedding a light on the troubles that the community is continually facing. Hate crimes of the LGBTQ community have sadly become so common worldwide and in the United States that the numbers unfortunately have not stopped increasing. Although they have come so far over the last few years and have reached many milestones like the fight for marriage equality, they still face so much discrimination in their everyday lives, and there's still so much work left to be done, like bringing more awareness and educating. According to the FBI's hate crime database in 2014, categorized under sexual orientation bias, 1,248 people were targeted. These are victims of assault or death because of their sexual orientation and gender identity. There's so much hatred and demeaning against this community. We hope that the horrendous issue will come to an end. Now to you, Shabazz.
Thank you, Lauren. Counter-Violent Extremism, also known as CVE, is a program created by Homeland Security that, according to their website, provides resources to communities to build and sustain local prevention efforts and promote the use of counter-narratives to confront violent extremist messaging online. After a sit-down with Zara Billu, Executive Director of Bay Area's Council of American Islamic Relations Branch, explained that it turns Muslim religious leaders and community members into informants. She further explained that the program is counterproductive and perpetuates negative sentiments towards Muslims. Brennan, Center for Justice, released a report early July on CVE. The report claims CVE has a host of negative impacts, including stigmatizing Muslims and reinforcing Islamophobic stereotypes, facilitating covert intelligence gathering, suppressing dissent against government policies, and sowing discord in targeted communities. Muslim religious leaders and public affairs organizations, including CARE and MPAC, the Muslim Public Affairs Council in Southern California, have voiced their objection against CVE, claiming that its fundamental flaw is perpetuating unsubstantiated fear in the United States of potential radical Muslims lying in wait. Presidential candidate Donald Trump has also used this negative stigma towards Muslims as a rally cry against terrorism. He has called for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. At the Democratic National Convention, father of fallen Muslim U.S. soldier Khizr Khan stood next to his wife and delivered a strong message criticizing Trump on his anti-Muslim statements. Recently, The Guardian has reported hate crimes have doubled in the last year in California alone. With the election looming close ahead, Americans all across the nation, especially Muslim Americans, are weary of the future ahead. Now back to you, Cliff.
Apps on our smartphones have become part of our daily lives. They help us organize our routines, they help us communicate with friends and family, and now they help us catch virtual creatures in the virtual world. Pokemon Go is the latest app that is sweeping the nation. Players who download the app have to catch a variety of fictional animals via the app, but in the real world. The app encourages players to walk around their city and their neighborhood to accomplish this feat. Local parks and churches have been commonly marked as Poke Stops and Poke Gyms, where players will interact and battle with one another. So you can level up literally by going to church. Religion jokes aside, there have already been 2 incidences of Pokemon players going bad. Time reports from our news affiliate WCAU in New Jersey about a woman late last month playing Pokemon Go who had decided to get a leg up on leveling up by climbing a tree. She had to be rescued down by the Greenwich Fire Department. No physical injuries reported, but I'm sure a little bit of ego was. Unfortunately, the LA Times reports about 2 injuries in North San Diego County where 2 men in their early 20s both fell off a cliff in Encinitas. One man fell 75 to 100 feet down the cliff, while the second man was found 50 feet away from the cliff, who was unconscious. Chief Rob Ford of the Encinitas Fire Department said that both men were taken to trauma centers and treated for moderate injuries. He also added that both men decided to cross a chain link fence to get to this cliff. These 2 incidences are beginning to show an alarming trend of players overstepping their bounds in public places to sidestep and dodge virtual creatures in the virtual world. One thing this reporter can relate to. Live in a tree from San Francisco State University campus, this is Cliff Clifferton reporting for DLSC Action News. And now, a special segment of our DLSC staff playing Pokemon Go.
This is so fun.
I caught Charmander!
Oh, let me see. Oh, shit!
Yes!
Pikachu's! Pikachu's!
I'm scared. This isn't even fun anymore.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. The Pokemon.
I'm totally crazy.
I'm stuck in this tree trying to catch them all. Send help.
Pokemon is life.
Welcome back to DLSC Action News 4. We're going to be discussing the 26th Modern Day Olympics happening in Brazil, Rio. Shabazz here will talk to you about the current medal count for the United States. Lauren will be discussing about the safety issues concerned if you're planning to travel. And I'll give you little tips and trips from the CDC about visiting Rio. Shabazz?
Day 4 of the Olympics is in full swing and the U.S. is dominating, specifically in swimming. So far we have 4 gold, 4 silvers, 6 bronze, and 14 total medals only in swimming, and in total we've locked down 20 medals altogether. So far, we're doing a great job this year. And athletes like Katie Ledecky have broken the world records twice in 2 separate events. Lily King also won gold, so did Ryan Held, Caleb Dressai, Virginia Thrasher in shooting, Blake Peroni, Michael Phelps, Nathan Adrian, Anthony Irvin, Ryan Murphy, James Regan. So it seems like in swimming, the U.S. is basically first in line. And Beijing is close behind with a total of 14, I believe, total medals. So this is Olympics so far for the U.S. has been great. Another thing that people have been talking about is a lot of athletes have been seen with big purple bruises around their bodies. Not knowing what it was, people started looking into it, and it turns out it's a practice called cupping, which is a therapeutic and holistic medical approach that uses heated suction cups on people's backs to relieve stress and improve blood flow. A lot of the athletes, like Michael Phelps, who has been seen with large purple bruises, use it to relax their muscles and prepare them for their competitions.
Interesting. This seems like something that was very curious because I remember watching Olympics and seeing those on well. Thank you for informing us on that. Lauren, how is the safety issue concerns for Rio?
So for those who have been concerned about Rio's safety issues, these are some of the problems that have been occurring. Rio's been subject to criticism for its preparation as the Olympic host city this year. There have been many complaints with Rio's infrastructure, with their water pollution, crime, and security. For Rio's infrastructure, it really has a poor quality. An example is the Olympic Park Superstore was forced to shut down because of high winds. For their water pollution, there has been known to have a dangerous level of high sewage. So rowers have had to even use bleach on their oars, have had to use antibacterial mouthwash, and have also had to put their water bottles in plastic bags in order to keep from possible bacterial infections. For crime, there have been many occurrences of killings, kidnappings, robberies where people have even been held at gunpoint, and tourists have been known to have been targeted. For the security, Rio is suffering a recession, so Rio's officers and firefighters have claimed that they have not been paid for months, and because of that, police have sent tourists a message that we will not be able to protect you. And because of that, or also, there has also been an unwelcoming sign to Rio's main airport stating "Welcome to Hell." These are the issues that Rio has been facing for this year's Olympic Games.
Wow, this is the World Games, and that's not a very welcoming thing to see when traveling to Rio. CDC has a couple of recommendations, some safety tips when visiting as a tourist or as a viewer of the Olympics. First and foremost, the Zika virus is the number one thing that is on people's mind. They're warning folks who are particularly women who are pregnant or trying to be pregnant to avoid going to the games. And if you are going to the games, they want you to be up to date on your vaccines, particularly the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, chickenpox, polio, your flu shots, hepatitis A and hepatitis B, typhoid, medicine for malaria, and also have traveler's diarrhea tablets in case you drink contaminated water. Now, in terms of guidelines for being a tourist in Rio, they say you should recommend traveling at night. You shouldn't wear any expensive jewelry or clothing, which makes you a target. To carry a photocopy of your passport, and also to carry the information of the U.S. Embassy and where it is in the city. They also recommend, if you can, to rent hotel rooms that are on the 2nd to 4th floor. The first and ground floors are very commonly known to be easily robbed because it's accessible. Lastly, they want people to avoid swimming in freshwater lakes and rivers due to contaminated water. And if you keep those in mind, I'm sure that you'll have a safe trip to Rio. But other than that, it sounds like the games are still on their way and they're having a lot of competition going on. We hope that you will have a chance to visit it. If not, watch it on TV. Thank you so much. This is DLSC News on the Rio Olympic Games. And this has been a DLSC Action News 4 presentation. Thank you for joining us. Good night and good luck.
fucking damn it. It smells like eggs
God,
in
I
here.
hate you guys.
Fuck all of you.